What's up, Packer Nation? Welcome to week 6 of the Delayed Draw podcast. We're going to talk about some choice words Aaron Rodgers had for the Bears fans. We're going to hit up some tweets on Tales from the Twitterverse, and we'll find out what this week's conspiracy theory is. Coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Audio Jungle.
Welcome back, guys, to the Delayed Draw podcast. Good to see you again. Week 6 of the NFL in the bag. Packers come out with a win. Beat the Bears. Gotta like that. Always good to beat the Bears, because as we all know, the Bears still suck. It was a good game, too. Started off a little shaky. Defense took a little bit of time to settle in, but I think they did a good job of shutting down the Bears offense. Not that the Bears offense is anything to write home about, but they did a good job. Did a good job with as many injuries we had, even with the Bears' garbage offense. Still was a little worried because, man, we're pulling guys off the street and plugging them in there, but so far so good. They're doing a good job with all the banged up guys, but yeah, good win. Always good to beat the Bears. So let's get into things, shall we? First on the agenda, we're going to talk about the elephant in the room. That would be Aaron Rodgers' choice words for the Chicago Bears fans. Dude, I thought it was fantastic. Not gonna lie, and I'm not normally the type of guy who's I'm not into bragging. I don't like to talk a lot of shit. You know, I'm not that type of guy. So when I first heard him do that, my very first instinct was like, man, that's kind of a dick move. But then when it kind of sunk in and saw the replays and saw how everything played out, why he even yelled it to begin with the Bears flipping him off and whatnot, I was like, dude, that was beautiful. That was fantastic. He owns them. He owns them. I think my favorite meme I saw was someone posted a picture of Soldier Field and replaced Soldier Field with Rogers Field. Fantastic. And most of the Bears fans that I saw took it pretty well. That's one thing I will say about Bears fans for the most part. Obviously, there's shit fans everywhere, but for the most part, they're fairly respectable folks. And many of them were like, you know, sucks that he did it. We feel like shit, but he's not wrong. You can't really, you can't argue against the perfect argument. So it is what it is. I'm glad he did it. It feels like it's gonna be one of those slogans for the year. You know, the RELAX thing, run the table. We get one every year, and this year it's I still own you. Is what it is. But speaking also of Rodgers, during his press conference afterwards, they asked him how he felt about this possibly being his last time playing in Chicago in the green and gold, and he had a curious response of, I don't think this is my last time, etc., etc., etc. So I've personally held out hope that he'll stick around. I know a lot of people have already kind of written him off. This is the last dance, yada, yada, yada. But I think I talked about this in, I think it was the first episode. There were certain things he wanted to see this organization do, and they hadn't done it, and that's what was really grating on his nerves. If the organization has decided to, you know, listen to him, I don't want to say bury the hatchet. I don't think that's the right way to put it. But just try to work with him on this. that maybe it could be the relationships could at least be mended enough to the point where, okay, maybe I'm not raging mad at the Packers anymore. I'm I don't like what things happened in the past, but the future maybe is promising. Yeah, you never know. So I think potentially things have been mended enough. Keeping my fingers crossed. Nothing against Jordan Love. Heck, he might turn out to be the third MVP, but Hall of Famer in a row. MVP would be good too. But Rodgers playing at a high level. Why get rid of him? Him and Devontae have the connection. If Rodgers stays, likely Devontae stays. So, yeah. Let's transition to the next deal. So, we ran the ball pretty well, pretty consistently. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I want to say Jones and Dillon each got 15 carries. Very balanced. But one thing I noticed that I haven't seen anyone talking about yet is where we're running the ball. A vast majority of our runs were right up the gut, like right into the teeth of the defense. And we don't normally do that. I mean, we do run up the middle, don't get me wrong, but there's usually a pretty good mix of up the middle, sweeps, jet sweep, whatever. I noticed we just kept pounding them and pounding them and pounding them and pounding them, like body blow, body blow, body blow. And I was loving it, man. Like, even the plays where we weren't really gaining much yardage, 1, 2, 3 yards, it still felt right. Like, fuck yeah, keep doing it, keep pounding them, because that's going to pay off eventually. They're going to get tired, they're going to get beat up. And I think that's something the Packers haven't done to teams in a long time. We haven't bruised teams with the run. We've beaten teams with the run, meaning, Jones will break some big ones here and there or whatever. He's really good at finding the holes. But it seems like when we're beating against a wall, LaFleur tends to kind of bail on it a bit. And this time, and maybe it's just the way the game played out, he didn't. He just kept driving it. And I was like, yes, keep it up, keep doing that. You got AJ Dillon in particular. Let Quadzilla put that big body to use, put those legs to use. And I hope we see it more. And like I said, Chicago's got a good defensive line. We're running into, I think Hicks was playing, Akeem Hicks, and he's one of the best run defenders in the league. And we just kept pounding him, so yeah. Excuse the cough. Got a little bit of a cough today. So let's switch gears to the final point I want to hit. I wish I wouldn't have to keep talking about this, but what the fuck is up with the referees? Oh my god. Like, granted, we got the benefit of most of the calls. The EQ call was pretty atrocious. But other than that, I don't remember any major ones. I'm sure there's some they missed. But that was obviously the big one. It's good to see the calls go in our favor, but at the same time, it bothers me when a referee can't call timeout. On one play, Fields turned around, looked directly at the referee. The referee saw him. I just saw a video of it today. The ref was looking right at him. Did not. He kind of waved him off, and then they got a 5-yard penalty out of it. And I'm like, all right, it's good for us, but bad for the league as a whole for stuff like that to be happening. The AJ Dillon fourth down. I think it was fourth down. They stuffed him at the line. Stuffed him at the line of scrimmage, and the refs gave us a yard. Was that... I'm not sure where that was at in the game. I don't know why Nagy didn't challenge that. That one kind of blew my mind too. Maybe he didn't have any timeouts left or something. Not sure what the situation was, but if I was a coach, I would challenge that. But again, horrible call. They missed the offsides where we got the interception. That one was pretty obvious. And I've seen some people say there was a false start before it. Man, that video was in super slow motion. The dude barely moved. I don't think I would call that a false start. But, you know, if you think it's a false start, so be it. That's just another one they missed then. So I don't want to have to keep talking about the refs every week. Thankfully, when I have talked about them, it's been in Packers wins. I loathe having to talk about them when we lose, because I don't want to have to use the referees as an excuse. I don't want to have to say that call on EQ cost us the game. It just sucks. It sucks for the league. It sucks for the fans. I personally still don't understand why they can't have people in New York overturn calls, or if a ref throws a flag, that triggers it. That person in New York, from that second on, is watching replays. He's watching everything. And he should be able to call to that ref, find out what the ref is calling, and tell him yes or no, that's a correct call, or is incorrect. That should only take a matter of seconds. The ref could throw the flag, instantly say holding 97 in his little fucking earbud. And New York can be on it like that. By the time that play is over and the ref is getting ready to announce the play, they should be able to look at that. At the worst, it would take a few extra seconds. I know they're all about keeping the game flow going, but I really don't think it would take that long to get a call right. The only concern with that is whether or not the refs would be throwing the flags a whole bunch more, knowing that they got Big Brother watching. That would be the only real question, I think. But something should be able to be done. They should be able to call down and be like, no, numbnuts, that was an awful call. Let it stand, or, you know, fix it. Just fucking fix it. Because it's getting bad to the point where the referees are becoming the focal point of some of these games, and nobody wants that. Nobody. And that's all I have to say about that. So let's move on to a segment that I like to call Tales from the Twitterverse. Tales from the Twitterverse. All right, our first Twitter tweet. These are from yesterday. I scanned through and found a couple that I liked that I wanted to comment on. And I try to grab tweets from just random people out there. I don't want to get too into actual reporters and players and stuff like that. I want to kind of showcase the average Joe and what they're saying about the games and the Packers. So this one is from Zach at Showtime_GB. He says, it really feels like the Packers are going all in this year. Do y'all think they will be active for the trade deadline also? Well, we learned today they signed Whitney Merciless. So that's probably an affirmative. That's, yeah, we're making some moves. But someone else also had a point that I saw today too about the signings we're making aren't like big splash signings, are not big splash moves, and in all likelihood more because of our injury problems at the moment than it is going all in, so to speak. Either way, it's nice to see. It's something we're not used to as Packer fans, so it's a little refreshing. It's a little more exciting than usual, so yeah, we'll take it. Hopefully it keeps going. Next one is from Certified Packers Fan at KingDay __. He says, Favre dominated the Lions, Rodgers dominated the Bears, so I'm guessing Jordan Love will own the Vikings. To be fair, Favre dominated the Bears too. That torch just kind of got passed along But if Jordan Love comes along and dominates the Vikings for like 10, 15, 20 years, you certainly wouldn't hear any complaints out of me. And our last one is from A at BOBODDYZ. Bobo Daddies? I'm going to say Bobo Daddies. Even if that's wrong, I like that name. Bobo Daddy says, writes out tweet, externally cringes at my own thought, deletes. Bobo Daddies, I think we've all been there. In fact, I did that numerous times with my intro today to the podcast. Record, blah, 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 blah. That was awful. Delete. Record, blah, 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 blah. That was worse. Delete. So yeah, totally with you there. Totally with you. And those were our Tales from the Twitterverse. We're going to move on to the final segment today, and that is the Green Bay Packers conspiracy theory. So, excuse me, my conspiracy theory this week, it kind of pertains to what we were just talking about a little bit ago about the Packers making moves, right? In the offseason, and then picked up Devondre Campbell and the moves we've been making throughout the season. It's very un-Packers-like in years past. So what I think is going on, what I really think is going on here, Aaron Rodgers has more than gotten his way with the Packers, right? We were talking earlier about his beef with what the Packers had going on. I don't think they actually buried the hatchet at all. I think Rodgers killed Brian Gutekunst and replaced him with a body double. That's right. You heard it here first. That's not Brian Gutekunst. In fact, when was the last time you saw Brian Gutekunst? Gutekunst. Love that guy's name. When was the last time you saw him give a presser or anything? Like, I haven't seen him in a while. I don't know. I'm not sure it's even him anymore. Aaron Rodgers has a body double plant running the Packers now. Rodgers is the puppet master. All right, guys. Enough bullshitting. This was a fun one. Always good to beat the Bears. Next week we play the Washington football team back in Green Bay. I've picked the last couple games to be pretty close. Speaking of close, the Bears game, I predicted 17-14, and it was 17-14 about 2/3 of the way through the fourth quarter, so I was damn close on that one. I picked us to beat Cincinnati by 3. The score was different, but we only beat them by 3. This time, I think we kind of lay one on them this time. We get back to Green Bay, we put one on them, Packers win 30-14. Hope that sounds good to you guys. Sounds great to me. We'll see you after that one. Go Pack, go.